someone on for the defense?
I am showing that Mr. Dante Hudson is the defense attorney, but I do not see him on this call.
Okay, we'll come back when he appears. We'll hold for his report. Next, position 2 has been taken off. 3 is Tyler DeAndre Campbell.
Hannah Lingle for the state. The state's ready.
Gregory Richardson for the defendant, Your Honor. We're ready to go forward.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Campbell is charged with possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of marijuana more than an ounce, and possession of a Schedule I controlled substance. To give you some background information, on February 22nd of 2022, DKPD officers responded to a vehicle accident on I-20 West near I-285 in DeKalb County, Georgia. The driver, the defendant, Mr. Campbell, advised he was waiting for a tow truck to tow his vehicle. Officers advised the tow truck was en route and requested the defendant's ID for a report. The defendant provided his driver's license, which led officers to find out that there were open warrants out of
Do y'all not know it's more than Nature Boy's
violations.
case? Let's have common sense.
The defendant was then taken into custody and his vehicle was subjected to inventory search, incident to arrest. The defendant was adamant that his vehicle not be searched and that he wanted his father to come get him instead. The inventory search revealed a firearm, 90 grams of marijuana, multiple colored pills that had the same numbers on them as ecstasy, a scale, and small baggies. The GBI and crime lab report is currently pending. This defendant does have a little bit of a criminal history. He did use his first offender on a robbery and false imprisonment back in 2018 in Gwinnett. He also has a possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer. That was in February of 2021. He currently does have a hold in Rockdale for probation for traffic offenses, which I stated earlier. He is still on first offender probation and has since been convicted of that gun charge. So we are opposed to bond at this time.
These are the court cases before Nature Boy.
In multiple jurisdictions.
It's another
he's
judge.
A felon or a first offender probationer with a firearm. So we do believe he posed a risk to the community. He was originally denied bond by Judge Jackson back on March 18th of 2022. Judge Jackson cited a danger of community risk to
All right, Mr. Richardson.
Y'all gotta send it to me then. If this the wrong one, then send it to me.
Mr.
Check your
Campbell was
Instagram.
only 22 years old. For context, that first the robbery was $20.
I am on this channel.
It was a high school conflict. So he was, I believe, 16 or 17 years old when that happened. That's what he was on first offender for. As the district attorney has said, he does not have an exhaustive criminal history. Most of his infractions are traffic violations, right? So he basically has.
I'm on the right channel, y'all.
The first offender.
Y'all, I'm on the right channel. I just don't know if this the right one, because y'all throwing me off now. All right, y'all, we need 11 more crowns. Am I good? I'm on the right channel, though. This is the actual channel. I get what y'all saying, but it's the channel. Somebody said, wait, yeah, it's probably after this, but his judge is a lady. Okay, it's probably after this. I don't know.
Just possession. And then if you look at the what happened in that possession, this wasn't him, wielding a gun or trying to attack anybody or anything like that. He doesn't have a violent history. He has basically a minor infraction, or probably was 16 years old, over $20, right? The defendant has exhaustive ties to the community. He spent his entire life here. He was born and raised in Georgia, spent his entire life in the Atlanta metro area. He has his entire family lives here. He's a new father as well, and is the primary support for that child. So he wants to, I think it's appropriate to consider that he needs to get home to take care of that child. So in this regard, he's not a risk any risk at all to flee. He's not a risk at all to not appear for any future hearings. And I'd also point out that Mr. Campbell in this case has been held for over 100 days. His case is yet to be indicted. So at this state, he's entitled to bond. All things considered, we would just ask that the court set reasonable bond. A couple things related to some underlying facts. He's charged with trafficking, but the amount there we're talking about, it was right at the borderline as to what it was. We didn't see any sort of sale paraphernalia, any like baggies, scales, anything like that in the search that the officers did of his car. I think that's the thing that should be taken into consideration as well. We think that a $5,000 bond is appropriate given all these circumstances. Thank you.
Did I hear they found something other than just the marijuana in the car?
I said they did not. So they have.
When the ADA.
Yes, they did, Your Honor. They found 90 grams of marijuana, and then they found the exact number is 86 multicolored pills, 35.5 grams of ecstasy.
Oh, no scales and all of that kind of stuff. Is that what you were referring to?
Your Honor, excuse me, they did. They had scale and small baggies.
That's what I thought I heard. Yeah, so that's why I was asking.
In reading the report, maybe I was thinking in reading the report, I thought that it said they did not find scales and baggies in that regard. So that is that. Then I apologize to the court for.
That's all right. I'm just trying to get clear about what's being reported. That's all. So no harm done. I got to do my job and pay attention. So I am paying attention. But Mr. Campbell appears to be working his way to prison on a case-by-case basis. He's been in possession of a firearm twice when he shouldn't have had to, and if I'm gonna leave it at no bond because he's likely to commit a felony if he gets out. He didn't learn his lesson on the first, and he hadn't learned his lesson. So,
Your Honor,
you mean is this
is a 90-day case?
90 days is
a 90-day case. He's entitled to bond, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Appreciate it.
What I'm not clear on is, with all of this COVID stuff, sometimes it's this is in fact over 90 days, notwithstanding COVID. Is that what the situation is?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state.
Your Honor.
If I understand it correctly, yeah, he was arrested on I believe the 22nd. So he's been in today. I think makes it 105 days, 103 days, something like this.
Okay.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond is $50,000. That's because he won't act right when he's out and about. Not because this is a heinous crime or anything like that, but plus he's not going anywhere because once they get him in Rockdale, and no telling what might happen. Next case is Kevin Carty.